presented to you by Southern States Bank.
Carver gets the victory. Buckhead goes with Carver.
Give me the Gadsden City Titans in this one. Put the fan. Put the fan. Welcome to the Winning Drive, presented to you by Southern States Bank, live from the TV24 media room. Hey, listen, I'm with Dawson Strickland. Dawson, it's been an eventful week.
It has been an eventful week. There's been a lot of storylines, a lot of big games coming up tonight. I mean, there's a lot of playoff implications going on tonight, and there's so many big games across the state that is going to be turning some people's heads. And there's, like you said, a lot of storylines going on, a few big ones.
So we got some big games. We got some big news as far as region standings come up. We've got some big games that we're going to pick later on. We've got some results from last night. But the first thing I want to talk about is the storylines. Gulf Shores, the #1 team in Class 5A, a bombshell of a storyline that came out. We don't want to go into too much detail, but we do know that AHSA is investigating that.
They're stepping in on that, and that's, for a lot of the teams in 5A, that's huge, because Gulf Shores was my pick to run away with it. I mean, they were a good football team. I had them going all the way and probably taking it home, but with all this going down, there's a few 5A teams right underneath them that's licking at the chops to get to that top spot.
Well, you know, like they're in 5A South. All right, so in 5A North, you know, you've got Pleasant Grove, Ramsey. You've got a lot of tough teams in the north, but in the south, you're correct. Gulf Shores had as good of an opportunity as anybody to come out of the south and play for a championship. But now you got this, and here's what's being said. This is the allegations that's being presented against them, that a company down there paid for apartments for players to live in. And so the HSA is there investigating that. We don't know all the details, but that is definitely something that could throw a wrench right here in Week 9 into the playoffs for 5A football.
Well, that's ginormous, because you go and look at their region. You know, Gulf Shores was 6-0 in the region, but then you got Faith Academy 4-2, BC Rain 4-2, Viger 5-2, UMS Wright 4-2. So many teams were fighting for that top spot in the region. With all this going down, you don't know what's going to happen, because now it's going to throw a wrench in the whole region right there.
No doubt
with
about
all
it.
That going
and
on.
And you have teams that are probably go ahead and looking ahead. Coaches don't like to say that, but they got a bunch of people on staff that are probably definitely looking ahead and looking at some different things as far as playoff matchups, and probably already watching film. That could change up matchups completely from that region and the region that they match up against.
No, I agree with you 100%. There's going to be a lot of, and like you said, you never want to look too far ahead, but right now with everything that's being said, everything going on, it's kind of hard not to.
No doubt
I
about
would say.
I mean, it's hard not to look ahead in that. Another storyline that hit this week, 4-star defensive end Jared Smith transferring from Spain Park to Thompson in Week 9. They say he will be eligible for the game between the Thompson Warriors and the Hoover Buccaneers tonight. You know, high school football's changed, obviously.
Yeah,
we know
absolutely.
that. And I've seen people on both sides of this argument, people arguing that, hey, bona fide move, he's eligible, he's doing. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, you know, this is huge for Thompson. Huge for Thompson. They're getting a great player, great defensive end. With a lot of college looks at him right now, he's a 4-star defensive end. But for Spain Park, I mean, they're sitting here fighting in this region, Region 3. They're sitting there fighting. They're 3-3 in the region, with Hoover's 4-2, Vestavia Hills 4-2, Hewitt-Trussville 4-2.
I looked at it, but I think they're out based off tiebreakers, no matter what happens. But still. Talking with some people this week, I believe that this is something that the state's going to have to go back and look
absolutely.
at. Or you're opening up a warm. I don't blame the kid. I don't blame his parents. I don't blame Thompson. Like, the kid in this day and age, everybody's trying to get as much notoriety. Everybody's trying to get as much exposure as they can get. How much more exposure can you get than the Class 7A playoffs? He's not going to be in the playoffs, so he goes up to a school in Alabaster right down the road, probably a little bit cheaper to live than in Hoover, Alabama. and I don't blame that at all, but I do say the state's going to have to go back and look at this, because you're creating a wormhole. You're creating a situation here that may not be good for high school sports. So you're going to have to go back and look at this and say, hey, listen, after a certain week in the season, you cannot transfer and be eligible for that season. And so if you can transfer all you want to, and if you make a bona fide move, that's fine, but you're not going to be eligible to play in a fall sport. You have to wait till winter sports get here before you can play. Say after week 3 or 4 of the season, if you move, then you're no longer eligible for the rest of that fall season.
Well, it's got me looking towards this. What's going to happen next? You know, this is just one person. When people's already starting to hear about this, you don't think this has got people and parents and kids' heads turning like, oh, I could do this. I think I could go here and possibly play for a state championship. It creates so much controversy, so much stuff goes down. It's crazy. I don't really know what's going to happen, but I'm sure that you're going to be correct. They're going to have to take a look at that.
No doubt about it. I think that looking at some different things, I think that I go back to a lot of people may not realize this, but I coached you in high school. We were a really good team. A lot of people may not realize that we had a really good baseball team. And so looking at that, when we talk about that, we would have loved for an arm to move in at the end of the year. Well, we would have had another playoff arm or another playoff bat or whatever. But looking at that, the state's going to have to do that. I don't blame the school at all, because we would have loved for that to happen at the end of baseball season. Somebody move in to the school district to give us another arm to help with those playoff runs that we went in. And so I don't blame Thompson at all. Thompson said, hey, he made a bona fide move. He's in our school.
Thompson ain't going to turn him away.
No
they
doubt
ain't
about
going
it.
to turn him away.
And
Absolutely
so, and if you're looking at this two situations, and there's people going back and forth on social media, if you're looking at this situation, you need to approach AHSA, and they need to look at making some amendments to their bylaws and their rules when it comes to stuff like this. You can't be mad at somebody taking advantage of what's going on in that
Which
system.
I believe that's going to happen too.
Yeah, no doubt
After
about
that right there, I believe that's going to happen.
No doubt about it. But looking at some other things, going on, Thursday results, when you're looking at the Thursday results, having some technical difficulties here. And so on the Thursday results, 7A in 7A football, Davidson beat Alma Bryant 34-19. James Clemens beat Grissom 35-7. In 6A action, Minor beat Woodlawn 28-0. Montgomery Jordan 52-8 over Jackson Olin. Jackson Olin is a program that was looking really good a couple of years ago, but kind of fallen off. Parker 50-0 over Huffman. Pinson Valley 41-38 over Pell City in double overtime.
Man, Rush Probst has been in every game.
Like been in every game. Like you can think about it. One score games. Shades Valley, Moody, Leeds, Oxford. Just a ton of one score games for those Pell City Panthers.
Every week.
Wetumpka 20-12 over Sydney Lanier. Good night. Pleasant Grove 55-0 over Jasper. Coach Daryl LeBeau will join us tonight on the Coaches Show. Ramsey 41-12 over Carver of Birmingham. Central Florence 49, East Lawrence 13 in Class 4A. Fultondale 43, Hanceville 14. We will talk more about that in a minute. Fultondale clinched the 3 seed in their region, I believe, and I think Etowah is going to be in the 4 seed in that region. Dora 47-22 over Oak Grove. BB Comer 49, Fayetteville nothing. Toggerville 1 to Central Haynesville nothing in a forfeit last night. Choctaw County 46, JF Shields 0. Hackleburg 43, Vina 6, Valley Head 53, Galesville 14, Winterboro 53, Victory Christian 21. That's another big win last night. Winterboro clinches a spot in the 1A playoffs with that win over Victory Christian. We'll be talking also to Skylar Mansfield. He will come in the studio tonight on the Coaches Show, so look forward to talking with him. Banks Academy 31, Valiant Cross Academy 0. We'll be talking to Banks Academy's coach here in just a few minutes on the winning drive. Hackleburg 40, Bessemer Academy 45, Cornerstone Christian 22, and Pickens Academy 36, Morgan Academy 32. Coming back, let's look. We talked about Winterboro clinching their way to the 1A playoffs. I believe we have those highlights. Let's take a look at the Winterboro Bulldogs versus the Victory Christian team last night.
I'll tell you what, Coach Skylar Mansfield's done a wonderful job with this Winterboro program. These guys have done nothing but grow their program each year and year in and year out ever since he's been there.
See that right there?
Winterboro's got a good running attack. They've had a good running attack all year. They've been able to run the football at will all year long, and that's was on the case here tonight.
No
here
doubt
last
about
night.
It was all Winterboro early. I told him, Coach, I wanted you to be on the show, but I didn't want to jinx you, so I waited till today to talk with him about being on the show. But you kind of see a big run right here by number 5, the quarterback for the Winterboro Bulldogs, making a big move, making a lot of moves, making guys miss down the sideline. Great individual effort right there to almost get in for the score. Scramble right here by number 4 for the Victory Christian Lions. Quarterback making some adjustments at the line of scrimmage. Zone read. 23 comes unblocked right there for the Winterboro Bulldogs to make the play.
And here's that run game again I'm talking about here. Smoot's just a very, very good running back for Winterboro. He's been like that. He's been like that all year. He's been able to make carries like that all year long, just chunk play after chunk play after chunk play, and that's huge.
No doubt about it.
For Winterboro.
No doubt about it. Well, we're going to go to break. When we come back, we will be talking to the head coach for Banks Academy, Jermaine Watson. We'll be right back on the Winning Drive presented to you by Southern States Bank.
At Southern States Bank, we pride ourselves on being your local bank. We're your neighbors and involved in the community. We're the bank featuring the Southern Rewards checking account, a cashback account with no ATM fees. We're on the cutting edge and always have a smiling face to help you out. Stop being just another number at the big bank and start being a neighbor at Southern States Bank. Let us be the bank for you and your business.
The Coosa Valley, on the banks of the Coosa River in Gadsden, Alabama. Fishing, boating, and paddling, and home to Team One Chevrolet. Team One Chevy has been serving generations for years. Even the grandkids are grown. Come by and see why so many people come back to Team One Chevy in Gadsden.
Home of the best people, the best service, period.
There's a special place where overtime gives way to family time, where fast pace becomes a little slower lifestyle. At Campers Unlimited, we can help get you there, where your lake house, beach house, or tailgate headquarters can have the same address. We carry the top brands in America like Grand Design and Forest River. With a large selection, we're sure to have a floor plan that fits your needs. So when you're ready to disconnect in order to reconnect, take the easy drive to Campers Unlimited on Interstate 59 in Gadsden, or shop us online at campersunlimited.net.
Serving Calhoun County in the state of Alabama since 1994, offering some of the most competitive interest rates in the mortgage industry, along with a wide variety of mortgage products. We are with you throughout the home buying process, offering you service before and after the close. Fast, reliable, local. Visit us today or apply online at our website, jacksonmortgageco.com.
And you remember, if you need a home loan, call my daddy.
Welcome back to the Winning Drive presented by Southern States Bank. We are joined with one of my good buddies and a very good football coach, Jermaine Watson of the Banks Academy Jets. Talk a little AISA football. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you guys for having us on today.
No problem. Coach, 9-1, first round of the playoffs next week. Tell me how you feel going into the playoffs.
Man, I feel good. You know, I told the kids the other day, you know, at this time of the year, you know, I think every coach knows this is the time you want to be playing good football. This time you want to be playing your best. And, you know, we finished out strong. So I think that we're peaking, you know, kind of like at the right time right now.
Coach, it's funny you said that. My co-host, Dawson Strickland, actually has a question for you. He was looking at y'all's schedule and noticed y'all's defense. And so I'm going to let Dawson ask you a question real quick.
Hey, what's going on, Coach? Coach, first thing I got to ask is the first 4 games of the season, your defense was letting up a lot of points, but since the first 4 games, you let up 6 points, 6 points, 21, 6 points, 16 points, 0 points in a shutout against Valiant Cross. Coach, what is your defense? What kind of changes have you made to really perfect this defense here late in the season?
Coach, I'll be honest, man. The biggest change was I had lost my Mike linebacker, kid by the name, he's a senior, middle linebacker by the name of Artrell Knox. He's the middle coach, so he sets everything we do, Coach. He's a kid that, you know, you can give multiple calls to. He can check us into the right call. So for 4 weeks, for about 3 weeks there, Coach, we didn't have him. And so he's made a world of difference having him back, Coach. And that's what I contribute, honestly, Coach, being honest, to the biggest difference in what we're doing. You know, I've always felt like, you know, we fly to the football, but having him just getting us in the right calls, man, has made a huge difference for us.
Well, that's great, Coach. And Coach, you talked about him, and you're going to join us a little bit tomorrow morning for our Saturday morning breakfast club and talk about some of your guys. But tell us a few guys that you got that maybe it's under the radar right now that people need to know about.
Coach, I got one coach that's a senior. He's about 6'2", kid named Isaac Smith, Coach. Right now, he has 28 touchdowns, you know, like 9 interceptions. He holds a Tuskegee offer, but I'm looking for, you know, him to pick up some more offers along the way. But he's a kid that's kind of going under the radar, Coach. He transferred into us from Woodlawn High School, and he's been a phenomenal player for us for the last 2 years, man. Got him, as I mentioned, Artrell Cox. I have another kid by the name of Desmond Watson who's under the radar, and I have a phenomenal quarterback who transferred in from Centerpoint High School named Jarrell Perry. So those are the guys who kind of going under the radar right now for us, but they are some great ball players, man, that can play in any level, AISA or AHSA.
Now, Desmond, that's your son, correct? What position does he play?
Yes, sir. Desmond is my son. He plays wide receiver and free safety in the corner for us. He's about 6'2", about 100 and probably about 65 pounds right now.
I got you. Well, so obviously you're in AISA now, but Coach, you spent a lot of time in AHSA, and obviously Birmingham area is loaded right now. Ramsey, Pleasant Grove, a lot of good 5A talent, 6A and 7A talent. How do you feel like that Class 5A, because like I said, you're familiar with some of those coaches. How do you feel like that's going to shake out, especially 5A North with Pleasant Grove, Ramsey, some of those teams in there?
Man, I think, honestly, Coach, you know, when you look at Pleasant Grove and the job that Coach Darryl LeBeau does over there, Coach, man, you know, it's hard to count those guys out year after year. I think they played for 3 straight. And so it's hard to count them out. You look at Ramsey with what they've done with Coach Rodney Jackson. He done a great job over there. So I think when you look at that region there, I think it's kind of like it reminds so much of the SEC West when you had the Bama, you know, the LSU, that when they was, you know, juggernauts. And so I think that's what you get when you look at that region. I think those guys can always battle for 1 and 2, and then you see what falls with the rest of them. I know it's kind of interesting tonight with the Winona and John Carroll game. I think they're fighting for that 4th seed with them in Fairfield. So that region is a tough region to me up north.
Yeah, I honestly think, and people around our area will kind of argue that the Southside, Moody, and Leeds region is tough as well, but I believe in 5A North football, that is the toughest. So, you know, everybody talks about 4A South, and obviously rightfully so, but I think 5A North is also really, really good in our state.
Yeah, I think it is, Coach, and I think, like I say, when you look at that 5A North region, Coach, in the last 4 years, somebody in that region has played for a state championship, with Pleasant Grove having 3 of those and Ramsey winning the last one here.
No doubt about it. And you know, Ramsey kind of ran away with the first one against Pleasant Grove, and I think, honestly, I think everybody kind of thinks that Ramsey and Pleasant Grove are on a collision course to see each other again. I'm ready to see, because Coach LeBeau and Frank Warren, the head coach at Parker actually beat Ramsey, and then Pleasant Grove beat Parker later on in the year. And so I'm kind of ready to see what kind of adjustments that Pleasant Grove makes if we do get that matchup again.
I think, Coach, I honestly think we will. And I tell people all the time, and the same thing I tell my guys, you know, it's hard to be the good team twice, Coach.
You're right.
It's hard to beat a good team twice. So I definitely think that we're on course. I'm not sure what round them guys will meet each other. I ain't sure if it's the quarterfinals or semifinals, but I definitely think that we're on a collision course to see those two guys meet each other again before it's all over.
Another guy that you're familiar with that's in our area now, Coach Rico Jackson. You coached with him at Aliceville, a couple of different places, I believe, but y'all coached for a state championship at Aliceville together. He's kind of, I know he's disappointed with kind of how things have went, but a lot of people, and I've talked to him, he's lost to 3 really good football teams at Anniston. They're a team that's still scary, but they lost a lot up front. They've had to mix and match and figure out up front on both sides of the football. Kind of let people in our area know, though, what Anniston got in a guy like Rico Jackson.
Man, I'm going to tell you something. Rico Jackson, honestly, coach, is one of the smartest defensive-minded coaches that I've ever been around in this game. I was fortunate enough to coach for him for 5 years. Me and him spent 3 years at Fairfield together, and then we spent 2 years at Adderall, like you alluded to, where we made the state championship run. They have a guy, coach, that believe in doing it the right way. And I tell people all the time, man, Rico is not just a coach to those kids. He's a mentor. He's a father. He's a guy that if you want things done the right way, he's that guy. I think, and you know, it's no doubt about it. Insta had a great coach. And sometimes we let the wins and losses take us away from the value that person really holds. I think Anderson is in good hands. I know they're in good hands. And I'm going to tell you something, Coach. I'm being honest with you. If I was at any school down there in that south area that had to play Anderson, I would be worried.
Oh, no doubt about it. Coach, you just alluded to it. Coaching is it's difficult, man. Like we hang on wins and losses, and a lot of coaches, man, you hear a lot of health issues going on with coaches. Coach, how do you keep yourself level-minded and keep things in priority as a head football coach?
Coach, I'll be honest, my family keep me grounded, man. And I tell my kids all the time, you know, that I believe in controlling the controllable, Coach. And I think that coaching is one of the toughest jobs that you ever sign up to do, because it's 1 minute everybody praise you, the next minute everybody talk about it. So I tell my kids all the time, I just believe in controlling the controllable, Coach. And I keep, and like I tell my kids all the time, man, our motto, faith, fight, finish. I believe I was called to do what I'm doing. So, and so that's what keeps me grounded, Coach. And the kids, man. Same thing I tell my kids. Those of us in that circle, we love on each other. So, Coach, as long as my kids be fine, that's what keeps me grounded along my family and my faith in Christ.
I hear you, Coach. Well, you know what I think about you. Like I said, not just a guy that I know, but a guy that I consider a friend, a great mentor. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Guys like you will need to see guys like you doing it the way you do it. So we appreciate you, Coach. I can't wait to probably catch up with you at the Super 7 like I usually get to. And Coach, I appreciate you taking some time out of your afternoon to meet with us, and congratulations on your win last night. Good luck next week in the playoffs.
Man, thank you guys so much. Fight, finish. Go Jets.
Go Jets. We appreciate you, Coach. Have a good one.
Yes, sir.
Like I said, we want to thank Coach Jermaine Watson for joining us. But now let's kind of look at some of those region standings that we have, Dawson. Because like I said, man, we got a lot of 1A Region 6, starting with 1A Region 6, and that region, like we said, they wrapped up everything last night. Wadley, obviously, the number 1 team in that region. Spring Garden, Raglan playing tonight for that 2-3 game, and then Winterboro wrapped it up last night with a big win over Victory Christian. Congratulations to Coach Skylar Mansfield on getting that 4 seed in a really tough region. Donahoe's a team that's usually tough, had a rough year this year. TC got some wins this year, so TC moving in the right direction. Congratulations to Coach Garrett and Talladega County Central. Victory Christian, we talked about the Lions coming up just a short last night, but anytime you're playing for playoff hopes in Week 9 is a really big deal for your program.
Absolutely, Coach. You couldn't have said that any better. When you're right there, it still hurts to know that you're right there, but when you've struggled in years past and then you get to this point where you're starting to build your way up and start to work your way up, being right there for Victory Christian, that's great for the program. That's got a lot of high hopes. And
in Spring Garden and Raglan play tonight to see who's going to be the 2 or 3 seed in that region. Now, the bad thing about it is if you get the 2 seed, if everything goes right in Region 7, which we're about to look at, you get to get Coosa Christian first round, who's going to end up finishing the 3 seed, who has only got beat 1 time to a 3A opponent on the field this year. And so looking at that, looking at Coosa Christian, Decatur Heritage is the 1 seed. Valley Head is the 2 seed. Coosa Christian plays Woodville tonight. If everything goes as planned, I think it's going to end up going like this right here. I think the 3 seed is going to be Coosa and the 4 seed is going to be Appalachian. And so I look for that to probably see how it rounds out. I think Appalachian plays Cedar Bluff tonight, if I'm not mistaken. And so I think that's how that region's going to shake out in 1A Region 7. Like I said, Coosa Christian is going to finish the 3 seed, but they are one of the top teams in Class 1A, the whole class, not just this region. And Valley Head, like we said, they defeated Galesville last night in a Thursday night matchup.
Appalachian plays Cedar Bluff tonight.
Yeah, so Cedar Bluff is going to try to throw a wrench in everything, but I believe that Appalachian probably gets that done tonight, and Coosa Christian will be the 3, Appalachian will be the 4.
Coosa Christian's a team you do not want to play as a 3 seed.
No.
Anybody else, but them at the 3 seed, that's a scary sight.
It's a scary sight for them, one of the best teams in Class 1A football. Moving up to Class 2A, Region 3, not a lot of teams that we carry around here, but a huge matchup tonight between Highland Home and Reeltown tonight for that 1 seed in that region. This is the second-ranked team in Highland Home in Class 2A versus the fourth-ranked team, Reeltown. Both of these teams have dominated their schedule so far. We know what Reeltown, we saw them play one of the teams in our area. We know what they can do. This is a big-time matchup tonight in Class 2A Region 3.
And, Coach, you're 100% correct. You know, Highland Home, 5 shutouts this season. Reeltown has 5 games where they held their opponent under 10 points. So this is going to be a defensive slugfest, and I can't wait to see the final on this game.
I look for Laverne to probably wrap up that 4 seed in that region, still kind of playing it out, but I think Laverne will wrap up that. But that Highland Home Reeltown game,
that's a big game
for the region championship tonight in 2A Region 3. In 2A Region 4, just a logjam. Obviously, BB Comer is your 1 seed, 9-0, actually 10-0 now. They won last night over Fayetteville, 49-0. Completed their season with an undefeated regular season, trying to make a run in this playoffs. We know that they finished second in the state last year to 5. They have that experience now. They have their best players still healthy at this point in the season. BB Comer is as dangerous as anybody in Class 2A.
The question is with BB Comer this year, they're looking to go back, and they have a very good chance. Can they get it done? Can they get it done on the big stage? Coach, they got the team to do it. They got a chance.
And then tonight, you got Thorsby, Isabella, and Vincent, all 3 of those teams that are competing. Like, it's a logjam right there in 2 through 4. A really, really good region, I believe. You got to look at this region. 9-0, 6-2, 6-2, 6-3 overall for those top 4 teams in the region. 6-0 or 7-0 now. 5-1, 4-2, 4-2. So it's a logjam tonight, man. Like, there's a lot of situation. If Thorsby wins, they're going to be the 2 seed. Isabella will be the 3 seed. Vincent will be the 4 seed. If Vincent wins and Isabella wins, it'll be a 3-way tie for second. If Vincent wins, Isabella loses, Vincent will finish the 2 seed, Thorsby the 3 seed, and Isabella the 4 seed. So just a lot of logjam right there in Class 2A, Region 4. We can't wait to see. What goes on right here in 2A Region 4. In 2A Region 6, Pleasant Valley will look tonight. They've all clinched, all right? Pleasant Valley tonight will look to win. If they win, I believe they have the tie with West End. They play Gaston tonight, so I look for Pleasant Valley to finish as the 3 seed in that region. West End plays Locust Fort tonight, so they're probably going to get beat, and they're going to finish the 4 seed there in that region in Region 6. So great season by Pleasant Valley. They started out 4-0. They're 4-4 now, losers of 4 straight. I look for them to get back in the win column tonight to set up a big matchup in non-region week next week against the Weaver Bearcats.
And yes, and Coach Jonathan Nix has done a fantastic job with this Pleasant Valley football team this year. They've hit kind of a rough patch, losing 4 straight. But like you said, I look to them to get back on track this week, go ahead and clean it up a little bit, and then have a big game versus Weaver next week. As it's a non-region game, but that'll be a big ball game.
No doubt about it. In 2A Region 7, Fife and Pisgah, we saw that game last night. Both of those teams are 7-1. Fife is 6-0 in the region. Pisgah is 5-1. Collinsville and North Sand Mountain play tonight. They've already clinched their spot in the playoffs, but it's going to be a big matchup tonight to see who gets that 3 seed and that 4 seed tonight between Collinsville and North Sand Mountain.
You're 100% correct, Coach. And, you know, a lot of people will look at it and be like, oh, it's just a 3 and the 4 seed. That makes a big difference when you're looking down the road. You got to look at the bigger picture here. And so that's going to be a matchup where both teams are going to come out starting to swing, and they're going to try to go ahead and bump up 1 seed.
No doubt about it. So going into Class 3A, Region 4, Walter Welborn has already wrapped up that region. Walter Welborn is a team that started out 0-2 and is now 6-2, 5-0 in the region. They got a game tonight against 0-8 Sachs, which will be our game of the week. We look for Welborn we hope it's a good ball game because you're calling the game, but we look for Welborn to kind of take care of business there. Then we got Randolph County. Both of those teams have been really good. They got a 6-2 team, 7-1 team at the top of that region, and then Dadeville has already qualified. And then you get a logjam there: Beulah, Childersburg, and Weaver. Now, I'm not an expert. I'm not real good with numbers. I graduated from Oxford. Don't hold it against me. I'm still trying to figure out those numbers. I was going to be a math major in college and realized real fast like I wasn't made for that. All right, but here's what I think I got now. If Childersburg's off, they're done. All right, they're 2-4. All right, if Weaver wins tonight, that would make them 2-4, and that would make Beulah 2-4. Judging by what I've seen, I think going down the tiebreakers, I think if Weaver wins tonight, Childersburg is going to be the team that gets into the playoffs.
And Weaver has a chance. 100%.
And Weaver has a chance.
100%.
Weaver has athletes. They got guys that can play.
Coach Kofer's doing great.
I think it's going to be tough for Weaver to get in, but right now Weaver's just playing they're playing for the future, man. Like, nobody expected them to be where they're at right now this year. 3-5, got a chance to finish 5-5 if they can win their last 2 ball games. And so looking at that game, Childersburg has got to be the biggest fan for the Weaver Bearcats tonight. Like, if I was them, I would show up with my black and red on tonight, because if they win, you're in more than likely.
Well, Coach, Ken Kofer, they lost 4 straight, and then they bounced back, won 2 in a row, and then they lost to Walter Welborn last week, and that game was actually fairly close at the beginning of the game from when I read off scores at halftime. But, you know, bouncing back to the Walter Welborn situation, isn't that the most Jeff Smith thing ever? Lose 2 games and then go on a big win streak there.
They had that off week after that now, and they got back to, he said it, playing Welborn Panther football. And now Jeff Smith, congratulations to him, became the most winningest coach in Welborn history. Has 100 wins now for
I got to call him for 2 seasons, man, and he is a fantastic coach.
Yeah, X's and O's, motivator, unbelievable. Congratulations to them. But if Beulah was to win at Weaver tonight, then Beulah would get that 4th seed in that region.
That's a jam.
It's a big log jam there, and I know that Childersburg is going to be watching that game. And Coach Johnny Johnson's doing a great job at Childersburg as well. 3A Region 6, another logjam here for that those last 2 spots. Hoax Bluff plays Piedmont tonight. All right, Ohatchee plays Plainview. We talked to Coach Finley last week. If Ohatchee wins, they're in.
Correct.
All right, so Ohatchee needs to take care of business at Plainview tonight, and they're in. Now Piedmont can throw a logjam and everything. You look over there. Hoax Bluff is 4-2. Ohatchee's 3-3. Ohatchee, if they win tonight, will be 4-3. If Piedmont wants to win, they would be 4-3. And then there's a 3-way tie there, so you never know what happens. So it's a logjam there. But from what I've read, Ohatchee wins tonight, they're in. So they have the destiny in their own hands.
Well, Ohatchee's coming off one of the best comebacks I've witnessed in a while in high school football, being down big at halftime against Glencoe last week. Putting your guys together, getting ready, coming back with a big second half to win that game against Glencoe. So they're fired up right now. This is a big night for Ohatchee.
I think they're going to have to start better, though, tonight,
absolutely.
if they're going to beat Plainview.
Correct.
It's a big night for the Ohatchee Indians, the Piedmont Bulldogs, and it's a big night for Hoax Bluff. You see Westbrook Christian, Plainview, and Glencoe, they have no shot of getting in. Westbrook Christian, we know they'll be a team on the rise with Steve Smith as their head football.
Plainview's looking to play spoiler tonight. They're not going to slack up. No. Plainview's looking to play spoiler tonight.
No doubt about it. 4A, Region 4, another logjam with teams that we're both familiar with. Tonight, Anniston plays Cleburne County. White Plains plays Jacksonville. Mumford plays Handley. Talladega is out of contention for the playoffs. They play a non-region game tonight against Alexandria. But looking at that, does any of those if one of those teams has a chance to pull off an upset tonight, which team do you think it's going to be?
Coach, this has been a logjam all year, really. You know, looking from how the year started, you know, we thought Cleburne County was going to pull away with it. White Plains plays spoiler, Mumford plays spoiler on White Plains, and Coach, I'm going to be honest with you. I really can't make that choice. I don't know who can play spoiler tonight because all these teams are fighting for the same reason. They all want to go to the playoffs. So they're all going to be hot. They're going to be ready to go. And Jacksonville, Anderson, Handley cannot play down to their opponent tonight. You do not want to slip up. Now, I do think Jacksonville and Handley, Coach, they're good teams. Man, Coach, I've got to call both of them this year, and they're really good teams. And Anderson looked good when I called them, too. They just had a few mistakes. I don't know if I can make that call.
I think that of those teams, I think Cleveland County's got the best chance to win.
Yeah, correct.
I think it's going to be difficult.
I can see that.
I think it's going to be difficult for Mumford against Handley. I think it's going to be really difficult on White Plains against the passing attack from Jacksonville. But I think that's going to be a difficult game all the way around for them. But so I think, and saying that Cleveland County, I think all three of those teams go down tonight. So that means it's going to be a three-way tie. And if the three-way tie, if you look at it, White Plains is still in it. They would have to beat Westbrook Christian next week in a non-region game. Mumford is probably going to beat Asheville, but they're going to get 0 wins out of that. And so looking at that, I think that it's going to be Mumford. I mean, it's going to be White Plains or Cleveland County, and I think Cleveland County is eventually going to be the one that gets in when you look at all the tiebreakers.
You're 100% correct, Coach. And I believe you're right there too. I think Cleveland County's got the best shot. But like I said, I can't pick on one of these teams to possibly pull an upset because all three of these teams at the top, they're powerhouses. Mm-hmm. They're going to be hard to beat in the playoffs, and I think you're 100% correct, though. I think Cleveland County would end up getting in.
And then next, looking at 4A Region 6, obviously Cherokee County, one of the better teams in 4A football, Aniana. Both of those teams have wrapped up the 1 and the 2. Fultondale wrapped up the 3 last night, and Etowah has the tiebreaker over all the teams behind them, so they are going to be in as well. So you got Fultondale, Etowah are both in there. Going to 5A Region 6, a big matchup tonight between Southside and Moody. That top 3 are really good. And then there's a matchup between Springville and St. Clair County tonight to see who's going to get the 4 seed there in 5A Region 6. So a big matchup between Springville and St. Clair County. Who would have thought going into the year that Tyler Robinson in Week 9 was going to have St. Clair County within 1 game of having a chance to play in the state playoffs?
Well, Coach, I was just fixing to say that to you. How about St. Clair County? This is one of the biggest turnarounds really all year because if you'd have told me that at the beginning of the year, Coach, I may have looked at you a little sideways, to be honest with you. And that's fantastic, Coach Robertson, to get this team turned around.
No doubt about it. Southside and Moody play tonight. If Southside wins, it would be an outright region championship for the Southside Panthers. If they lose, then they will be a 3-way tie for the number 1 seed in that region. So we'll have to see how that plays out. In 6A Region 6, a big matchup tonight. Oxford Yellow Jackets play center point to see who gets that 2 or 3 seed. Last night, Pinson won to get the 4 seed over Shades Valley because they have the tiebreaker with Shades Valley no matter what happens tonight. And also Shades Valley plays Clay Chalkville tonight. But Pinson Valley won the head-to-head matchup, so they would have the tie there. But Centerpoint and Oxford to see who hosts the first round of the playoffs.
And, Oxford coming off of a loss that I thought was going to get a little out of hand, but Oxford hung in there the whole game. Mm-hmm. So they're looking to fire it back up tonight, try to get a big win underneath their shoulder and go in for that 2 seed.
6A Region 8, we're going to go through this one pretty quick. Gaston City with the region championship. Mae Jemison in first year under Coach Rico White, who was the head coach for the Anderson Bulldogs, go from really terrible to getting in the playoffs. I mean, that's a big deal for the Mae Jemison team that was not very good last year. They are the 4th seed in that region. Gaston City, Fort Payne, Buckhorn, Mae Jemison. Congratulations to Coach Rico White and Mae Jemison on getting in the playoffs.
Correct. Coach White's doing a fantastic job down at Mae Jemison. Like you said, they were not very good last year. Coach White comes in, and he's got them looking in the playoffs.
All right, so we're going to go to Shasta with an interview. When we get done with Shasta, we're going to take a commercial break. We'll be back on the winning drive. We're going to send to Shasta and then straight to commercial, and then we'll be back with some scoring leaders for the year.
Have the Wellborn Panther cheerleaders with me. So I've got seniors on both sides here. So tell me, how are you feeling about the game and your team out there tonight?
I hope that everybody does really good and goes out and plays their hearts out.
And how about you?
I feel like our team has really proven themselves in season, and I can't wait to watch them continue to show their talent to everybody.
Well, wonderful. What I'm going to do is step out of the shot and let these girls give you a cheer for their team, okay? Go for it, guys.
Here we go, Panthers.
Here we go. Here we go, Panthers. Here we go.
We'll do.
Here we go, Panthers. Here we go. Here we go.
We're going to throw it to a quick break. We will be right back here shortly for you.
The Coosa Valley, on the banks of the Coosa River in Gadsden, Alabama. Fishing, boating, and paddling, and home to Team One Chevrolet. Team One Chevy has been serving generations for years. Even the grandkids are grown. Come by and see why so many people come back to Team One Chevy in Gadsden.
Home of the best people, the best service, period.
At Southern States Bank, we pride ourselves on being your local bank. We're your neighbors and involved in the community. We're the bank featuring the Southern Rewards checking account, a cashback account with no ATM fees. We're on the cutting edge and always have a smiling face to help you out. Stop being just another number at the big bank and start being a neighbor at Southern States Bank. Let us be the bank for you and your business.
Welcome back to the Winning Drive presented by Southern States Bank. Looking at scoring leaders, offense and defense by class. First in Class 1A, if you look at 1A, Coosa Christian averaging 48.7 points a game, and Elba is second, averaging 47.3. Milry, 47.2. Lynn, 43.4. Leroy, we'll get a matchup between Leroy and Milry tonight. That'll be one of our pick'em games, averaging 40.9. Raglan, averaging 38.2. Hackleburg, 36.7. Cherokee, 36.3. McKenzie, 36. And then Wadley, 35.9. So you see Raglan, Coosa Christian, and Wadley, all three teams that are in our coverage area, right there in the top 10 in scoring in Class 1A offensively.
And, Coach, all three of those teams have had a great year. Wadley especially. Wadley came out of the woodworks. We knew they were going to be pretty good, but they really came out and they shined all year long, had one slip up. And Raglan is another team that's just a very physical team, and their offense, I got to cover them this year, their offense is one of a kind. And all their guys, they don't have many kids on that football team, but they all do the little things right. And that's what you need on a football team, 100%.
No doubt about it. Georgiana, Class 1A defense. Georgiana only giving up 8.7. Leroy, 8.7. So one of the best offenses and defenses in the state for Leroy. Lynn, offense and defense. The number 4 ranked offense, the number 3 ranked defense, 9.3 points a game. Milry, the number 3 ranked offense, the number 4 ranked defense, giving up 10.1. Lochapoka, 10.6. Elba, 10.8. Again, second ranked offense, 6th ranked defense. Decatur Heritage, 11 points a game. Coosa Christian, and theirs looks a little bit better because Coosa Christian game is not counted on there, and so theirs would not look as good if you had the Coosa Christian. Coosa Christian, 11 points a game. Addison, 11.9, and Sweetwater, 12.1. So you see a lot of those dominant teams in Class 1A with defense and offense. In Class 2A scoring leaders. In Class 2A, Locust Fork, averaging 53.8 points a game. Pisgah, 49.3. Fife, 47.6. Reeltown, 47.3. Highland Home, 43.3. Cottonwood, 43.3. B.B. Comer, 41.7. Tanner, 41 points a game. Collinsville, 40 points a game. Isabella, 39.6. Once again, Fife and B.B. Comer, Collinsville, all teams that we're familiar with in this area, dominating on the offensive side of the ball. Here's what makes B.B. Comer so good, though. Highland Home, we talked about then. Highland Home has the number 5 ranked offense, the number 1 ranked defense, only giving up 6.8 points a game. B.B. Comer, the number 6 ranked offense, the number 2 ranked defense, giving up 7.4 points a game. Fife, 9.9. Locust Fork, 9.9. Reeltown, 10.3. Southeastern, 13.3. Vincent, 15.2 points allowed per game. Cottonwood, a little over 16 points per game. Sulligent, 16.6, and Tanner, 16.8 points per game. BB Comer bringing the offense, bringing the defense. 5, same way. Highland Home, Reeltown, that Highland Home, Reeltown, one of the best offenses. 2 of the best offenses versus 2 of the best defense. What's going to give tonight? And so looking at that, going to be a really good ball game in Class 2A. In Class 3A, looking at it right here, Madison Academy, 53.5 points a game. Mars Hill Bible, 49.2. Mobile Christian, 42.1. Sylvania, 41.6. Houston Academy, 41.5. St. James, 41.4. Lauderdale County, 40.9. Gordo, 40.7 points per game scored. Randolph County, 40.5. And J.B. Pennington, 37.2. We saw Sylvania. They match up with a lot of teams in our coverage area. And also Randolph County, 40.5 points a game. Really good offensive team for Randolph County. Mobile Christian has the 3rd ranked offense in Class 3A, the number 1 ranked defense, only giving up 4.3 points a game. Madison Academy, 9.3. Woo! So Madison Academy, the number 1 ranked offense in Class 3A, the number 2 ranked defense, only giving up 9.3. Lauderdale County, another team that's on both lists, 11.1. Geraldine, 11.6. J.B. Pennington, 12.1 points allowed per game. Gordo, a team that's ranked 8th offensively, 6th defensively, only giving up 12.2. Mars Hill Bible, another team, 12.6. Oakman, Winfield, and Houston Academy, your best defenses statistically are scoring-wise in Class 3A. So a bunch of good matchups in that one coming up in these playoffs as well, where something's got to give. In Class 4A, Dawson, you tell us who's got the best scoring offenses in Class 4A football.
Well, in Class 4A, West Morgan's averaging 51.1, Westminster Christian 49.5, Jacksonville 46.8, Montgomery Catholic 45.3, Corner 44.6, Cherokee County 44.1, Andalusia 42.9, Jackson 42.7, Brooks 42 points flat, Central Florence 41.3.
All right, so we expect Jacksonville to be in there. They've had a great offense
and
ever
Cherokee
since
County.
Clint Smith has been there. Cherokee County, we expect both of those teams to be in there. My question is, West Morgan is that team in the North that everybody's talking about. Can they match up? Can they beat Cherokee County in the 4A North playoffs?
When you're scoring 55 points a game, I would assume. But Cherokee County's a different animal, man. We've got to talk about them a lot this year. And if they can slow down Cherokee County's running game, I would say they have a shot.
Montgomery Catholic's a team that a lot of people are not talking about. We talked about them, though. Scoring 45.3. They're only averaging giving up 2 points a ball game. They have a huge matchup tonight with Andalusia, one of our pick'ems. We'll see what we think about that in a minute. But 2 points a game for them. Cherokee County, we talked about their offense. 6.5 points allowed for their defense. Brett Henderson's doing a great job over there with their defense. He's the defensive coordinator for the Cherokee County Warriors. Jackson, 6.9. Some people think that Jackson is the best team in Class 4A football. Andalusia, 7.6. Something's got to give tonight in that Montgomery Catholic game and that Andalusia game. Corner, 15.1. Bibb County, 15.4. T.R. Miller, 15.5. Jacksonville, 16.5. That's the difference to me why Jacksonville's got a chance to beat anybody in Class 4A this year. We know their offense is always going to be there, but this year, under first-year defensive coordinator, they have been unbelievable on defense as well with the 8th-ranked defense in the state in Class 4A.
Well, they've been able to cause turnovers. That's been a key thing with Jacksonville this year. They have been able to get the ball back to their offense very, very quickly every single week. And I believe you're 100% correct, Coach. That's one of the reasons why that Jacksonville can get it done this year, I believe.
Yeah, Brian Owens, the defensive coordinator for Jacksonville, doing an outstanding job in year number 1 there. Hanley, 16.7. Booker T. Washington, 17 points to round out our top 10 defenses in Class 4A. In Class 5A, Central Clay County, 43.1. Russellville, 43. Scottsboro, 42.8. Elmore County, 38.8. Pleasant Grove, 38.8. Fairview, 36.8. Ramsey, 35.8. Gulf Shores, 35. Southside, 34.1. and Boaz 33.9. Central Clay County, I think it's surprising people, but they've got the #1 offense statistically wise in Class 5A and the #1 defense in Class 5A, only giving up 6.5 points a game.
Well, Coach, at the beginning of the year, y'all was telling me that Central Clay, from what we were hearing, was 1 year away. 1 year away.
Yep.
But why not now? I mean, look at the stats. The stats prove itself. 43.1 points a game, 6.5 points allowed on defense. I don't see 1 year away. I see right now.
That's one of those teams that nobody really wants to see in the playoffs because they
Never
play
do.
a brand of football that if you don't show up for 4 quarters, they're going to wear you down.
And you never bet against Danny Horn.
You're
you
exactly
can't do
right.
it. Can't do it.
Fairview has the second best scoring defense in Class 5A, 7.1. Gulf Shores, 8.8. Ramsey only getting up 11 points a game. Viger, 11.4. Moody, 11.8. Russellville, 12.4. Gunnersville, 12.4. UMS Wright, 13.6. And Demopolis, 15.1 points per game. So you see there what's going to give. Ramsey, one of the best offensive defenses in the state. Gulf Shores, one of the best offensive defenses in the state. Central Clay County, the #1 team in both offense and defense. Something's got to give for some of these teams when the 5A playoffs come around.
Yeah, you're 100% correct, Coach. And like we were talking about, something's got to give. Something has to go.
In Class 6A, Saraland, the #1 ranked offense, scoring 54 points a game. Saraland has been unbelievable offensively. Muscle Shoals, 43.9. Congratulations to them. Michael Darden, the offensive coordinator for Muscle Shoals, scoring almost 44 points a game. Fort Payne, 43.1, which surprised me, man, because I keep going back to when Oxford played them in a jamboree, and they looked like they couldn't score at all. Now they got the 3rd-ranked scoring offense in the state in Class 6A. Helena, 43 points a game. Hillcrest Tuscaloosa, 42.3 points a game. Gaston City, 39.9. Clay Chalkville, 38.8. Parker, 38. Athens, 37.8. Pike Road, 37.8 points per game. In defense, Hillcrest Tuscaloosa, a team that's playing both offense and defense, 5.7. Clay Chalkville, 8.8. Helena, 11.5. Theodore, 11.5. Saraland, 11.6. Mountain Brook, 12.4. Culver Montgomery, 13.2. Parker, 13.3. Spanish Fort, 14.9 points allowed. And Oxford, the 10th-ranked scoring defense in Class 6A, 15.4 points allowed per matchup. So we're going to go back to Shasta with another interview. When we come back, we will start looking at a few more matchups for this week.
Hey guys, I'm out here with the Sax Wildcats cheerleaders. I've got a senior on each side of me, so tell me, how are you feeling about your team out there tonight? Anybody you want to say a shout out to?
I'm just happy that I'm getting to cheer one of my last football games with my favorite cheer team ever. I want to give a big shout out to Coach Freeney. He's been trying hard to make these boys good players.
And how about on this side here? How are you feeling about the guys out there tonight? Anybody you want to give a shout out to as a senior?
I just want to shout out the little kids that are cheering with us tonight. That's where it started for me, and I'm so excited. It's a full circle moment. And I'd like to shout out our football seniors. They worked so hard for this season, and I'm glad we get to do it one last time.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to step out of the way and let them cheer for you. Go for it, guys.
Ready? Go Mighty Wildcats, go! Go! Go Mighty Wildcats, go! Go! Go Mighty Wildcats, go! Go! Let's go!
And we're going to throw it back to Chandler in the studio right now.
JCA is starting their playoffs tonight. They play Tuscaloosa Christian, a team that they matched up already and have already beat this year. We talked about how difficult it is to beat a team twice in 1 year, but they get them at home, and JCA has been unbelievable this year. Noah Lee, the quarterback, they've got some players out wide, some players that can play, really, really play. We talked with Noah Lee last week. They have a chance to make a run in their division.
They absolutely do. And Noah Lee's mindset is unlike any other kids that I've seen in the high school football, high school sports period. Man, this guy has just he's got the eye on the prize, really. He wants to be successful, and that is proven on the field this year. They've been nothing but successful so far, and coming into the playoffs, I think they can keep that run going. They've got a really good football team.
No doubt about it. Jack Stewart, tonight we go to Jack Stewart Field, and Jack Stewart was longtime coach of the Sax Wildcats. Dawson, tell us a little bit about Jack Stewart, a little bit about his bio as we look at him and we honor him tonight on our show.
Jack Stewart was just an outstanding person for the Sacs community and in Sacs for leading the school's infant football program in the High School Football Athletic Association playoffs. When Stewart arrived at Sacs as a head football coach prior to 1966 football season, the Sacs Wildcats had only one winning record in the 6 years of varsity football competition. That soon changed. In 1968, Stewart's third Sacs team was 9-0 in the regular season, was one of the 4 Class 3A teams to qualify for the AHSAA playoffs. Sacs then defeated Fairfield in the semifinals before finishing as Class 3A runner-up. Stewart was voted Calhoun County Coach of the Year by his fellow coaches. Following the 1968 season, the 1968 Wildcats gave Sacs its first undefeated regular season, its first playoff appearance, and its first 10-win season. Then 71, Wildcats were 8-0-1 in the regular season, one of the 8 3A teams to qualify for the playoffs that year and reach the semifinals. In 1974, Sacs was 8-1. The regular season won its first area championship in football. The Wildcats finished 1-1 in the 3A playoffs. In 1974, Stewart shared Calhoun County Big 5 Coach of the Year recognition. Overall, Stewart's 12 Sacs teams were 70-40-4. Stewart grew up in Lineville and graduated high school from there in 1948 before graduating from Jacksonville State. He earned 2 letters in football. Stewart began his coaching career in Bowden, Georgia, where he was the assistant coach in football. He also served as girls basketball coach and led the Bowden girls to a state championship his first year at the school. That same year, Stewart's Bowden baseball was state runner-ups. The opportunity to become a head coach in football and basketball enticed Stewart back to Lineville in the fall of 1959. In 7 years at Lineville, he never had a losing record in football. Stewart's overall record at Lineville was 52-11-3 in 1960, and again in 1961, the Aggies were 10-0, and the 1961 team was awarded the mythical state championship for its class. 2 of Stewart's Lineville basketball teams finished as runner-up in the Class A state tournament. Stewart served on the AHSAA district board for 11 years. He was elected to the AHSAA Hall of Fame in 1995. On October 1st, 1931, Sacs High School football named its field in his honor. Stewart died. 1993. I'm so sorry. Sacs High School named its football field in his honor. Stewart died September 11th, 1998. He is a class of 2012 inductee to the Calhoun County Sports Hall of Fame.
All right, so a unbelievable coach, a guy that he was at Lineville and Sacs. The field is named after him, obviously, at Sacs. And so we wanted to take a moment to recognize him and the job that he did for the Sacs Wildcats and the Lineville Aggies. So congratulations, and we honor the memory of Coach Jack Stewart. With that, we're going to go to commercial break. When we come back, we will have our picks for the week. We'll be right back here on The Winning Drive presented by Southern States Bank.
I want to introduce to you Oxford Lumber's 2023 All-American team.
Michael B., Power Tools.
Shaw, Outdoor Power Equipment.
Danny Jones, Store Manager.
Rich, Grills and Receiving.
My name is Derek Linkle, your steel technician here at Oxford Lumber.
David, Paint Department.
Greg Couch, Paint Department.
Come see our All-Americans at Oxford Lumber and let us get you what you need for your next building project.
Crawford Office Supply, we have everything you've been looking for. From desks and chairs all the way down to janitorial, break room, and school supplies, we have it all. We even do printing, and we offer free delivery for businesses in Calhoun County. And great news, we're running a brand new deal on scratch and dent furniture. We're a local family-owned business, open Monday through Thursday from 8 to 4:30 and Friday from 8 to 3. So please come and see us here at Crawford Office Supply so we can make all your office dreams come true.
Hello, my name is John Perrani, co-founder of Man Up Gadsden. It's that time of year again for Casting for Cancer, As you know, it's become one of the largest charity bass tournaments in the state of Alabama. But this year is going to be unique. We're offering free prostate cancer screening with a simple blood test for all men over age 40. So if you can't be there on Saturday, September 2nd at Coosa Landing as an angler, we'd love to have you as a spectator.
Welcome back to the winning drive presented by Southern States Bank. It's pick'em time. We got about 10 minutes left in the show. When we talk about pick'ems, you asked for our leaderboard while we were on commercial break. You don't want that.
No. We all know who's going to be last. It ain't going to be me.
All right, here we go. What's our first game of the week that we're picking? Andalusia at Montgomery Catholic. The number 1 ranked team versus, I think, the number 3 ranked team in Class 4A football. Dawson, I'm going to let you start on this one.
This is a very tough game. This is a game that when you sent me this at 1 o'clock today while I was at work, this is a very tough ball game.
Don't make excuses.
This is a very tough ball game to look at. But I'm going to give the edge to Montgomery Catholic. They're at home. I believe that they can pull it off at home. I think it's going to be a really close ball game. I got Montgomery Catholic.
I'm going to go with Andalusia Bulldogs to pull off the win on the road. Last year, Montgomery Catholic was able to beat Andalusia in the regular season, I believe, and Andalusia beat them in the playoffs. I think this year, tables turn, and I've got the Andalusia Bulldogs to win this 4A matchup. Beulah at Weaver. We talked about the implications on this game. Beulah at Weaver. I'm going to take Weaver tonight. I'm going to take the home team, the Weaver Bearcats. I think that they're playing better right now. I think they're going to play with a lot of excitement tonight on senior night. So I've got the Weaver Bearcats to defeat the Beulah Bobcats tonight in a matchup of types of cats.
Well, Coach Ken Kofer's really brought a lot of life back to this Weaver Bearcat program. And I think the fans and the team's going to show up tonight. I believe Weaver gets it done at home. I think Weaver's going to win this game tonight.
All righty. Next on the Pick'em Center Point right here at Oxford tonight, a big matchup that you can find on the TV24 Big O Sports Network right there on Facebook or YouTube. You can find that tonight right here on TV24. What do you got?
I think the Oxford Yellow Jackets get it done, and I think they go ahead and get that bad taste out of their mouth from last week. I got Oxford.
I think the way Oxford play in the second half, there's no moral victories, but I think they can really go forward on that. I've got the Oxford Yellow Jackets to win this game at home to clinch that 2 seed in the playoffs. All right, Highland Home at Reeltown tonight. Dawson, I'm going to go first in this one. I think Reeltown gets it done, and I think the fourth ranked team in Class 2A beats the second ranked team, and I think the Flying Squadrons go down tonight.
Coach, I'm going to agree with you. I think Reeltown's offense is going to really be a lot for Highland Home to handle, and I think they go ahead and break that shutout run that they're going on, and I think Reeltown gets it done.
Milry tonight at Leroy, a big matchup right there in Class 1A, a ranked matchup. Tell me who you think gets this done, who gets it done tonight.
Well, Milry's got 5 games where they've scored over 50. Leroy's highest points allowed this season is 13. I'm going to go with the Leroy Bears. I think the Leroy Bears defense is going to be huge, and I think that it's going to be a low-scoring game, believe it or not. I got Leroy winning in a close one.
1A, 1 versus 4 matchup here. I like Milry, but I don't like them enough to take them over Leroy. I think Leroy is one of the better teams in Class 1A. Obviously, the top-ranked team in Class 1A. I'm going to go with the Leroy Bears tonight as well. Ohatchee at Plainview, a big game tonight for the Ohatchee Indians. Does Ohatchee get it done, or does Plainview ruin their season?
I think Ohatchee rides the high horse from last week in the big comeback win against Glencoe. I got Ohatchee winning this one in a close one at Plainview. And the Ohatchee Indians are going to be closer and closer to that playoff spot tonight.
I got the Ohatchee Roll Tribe roll. I got Ohatchee tonight. I don't know if I'm picking with smarts or my heart. Ohatchee, when they lost Jesse Baswell, that was obviously a big blow for them. Hester's got to play well tonight. Nate's got to play well tonight. Quarterback's got to play well tonight. the Robertson kid. Got to play well tonight for Ohatchee to have a chance. I look for them to go on the road, have a big night, and Ohatchee is in the 3A playoffs after tonight's game. Raglan at Spring Garden. We talked about if you win this one, winner, chicken dinner, you get Coosa Christian more than likely in the first round of the playoffs at home. Who do you think is going to win this one? Does Raglan go on the road and break Spring Garden, or is it just too hard to go in the Garden?
Coach, I like what Coach Tidwell's done this year. All his guys do the little things right, and I like Raglan going on the road at Spring Garden and pulling off a huge win tonight for Raglan.
I think Raglan gets it done as well. Spring Garden has been up and down all year, losing a game to Cedar Bluff. I think Spring Garden loses tonight to a very talented Raglan football team. Southside at Moody, another big one tonight. Southside has got to go on the road. A matchup between two really good coaches, Coach Gannis at Moody, and obviously the job that Coach Holcomb has done at Southside. I got to go with Southside tonight. I think they're too good offensively, too good defensively. The run game against Moody is going to be too much tonight, and the Moody Blue Devils go down at home, and Southside wins an outright region title. Yeah,
I believe I'm going to agree with you. I think Southside's run game is just going to be too much for the Moody Blue Devil defense to handle, and I think Southside pulls away with this one late, but I think Southside pulls it off and wins the region title.
Talladega at Alexandria tonight. Somebody's got to win.
Somebody's got to win. Somebody's got to win, and I hate to do it. I just don't think Coach Bill Smith can get it done tonight. I think Alexandria at home gets their first win of the season and looks forward to next year. I got Alexandria.
Unfortunately, I think Talladega may be battling some injuries, and so with them having some injuries and some things going on there, I really think I might have liked Talladega if they could have came in this game healthy. But because they're not healthy, I think Alexandria gets their first win tonight in the Valley. Thomasville at Mobile Christian, a big matchup in Class 3A tonight. Thomasville, a team that obviously people in this area are very familiar with, especially if you're from Cleveland County. Thomasville at Mobile Christian, who do you think wins that one tonight?
Coach, this is one of the tougher games we've had as well. I believe that Mobile Christian gets it done at home. I think it's going to be a lot for Thomasville to come to Mobile Christian and get a win. I'm going to go with Mobile Christian tonight at home.
I think that is correct. I think Mobile Christian, the number 1 ranked team in Class 3A, I think that they beat I think they beat Thomasville tonight in that 3A ranked matchup and win a region title. Do we have the highlights from last week uploaded to the computer? We're going to go out. That's going to be the end of our show tonight. When we come back, Dawson, it will be you and Jackson for our TV24 Primetime Sports Game of the Week between the Welborn Panthers and the Sacs Wildcats at Jack Stewart Field in Sacs. A big matchup tonight between the Panthers and the Wildcats. Can Sacs shock the world, or does Welborn continue their hot streak and win their 7th game in a row tonight? That is the question. Dawson Strickland, you'll see a lot more of him coming up. I'm Chandler Tyree. We're going to go to the highlights, and when we come back, we will be hooking up with our TV24 Primetime Sports Game of the Week right here on TV24 platforms.
I feel the need for speed. Ow!
Brandon Spells back in the game. He got a hole. He's going to run hard. Touchdown, Lincoln.
He's going to walk this ball all the way down. Got it called for the catch for the Glencoe Yellow Jackets. That's going to be a touchdown.
You're jumping off the deck, shoving in your overdrive. Highway
Kitchens is looking to throw it. He's got one-on-one coverage, and that's intercepted! Intercepted for the Indians. What an interception by the Ohatchee Indians. Jones and Folsom. Jones takes it himself. He gets around the outside. Jones has got some space. He's got some speed. Makes a man miss. Jones is going down the way down to the 20, to the 10, to the 5, to the house. Nate Jones gets the Indians right back in this ball game. The Ohatchee Indians strike again with a Team 1 Chevrolet touchdown by Nate Jones.
Hey everyone, it's Friday Night Football and we've got the Welborn Panthers up against the Sacs Wildcats, and this is going to be a perfect night for football, let me tell you. The temperatures are going to be in the mid to high 60s throughout the entire game with partly cloudy skies and absolutely no chance of rain. It is perfect football weather. Everybody have fun.
Look at us in the girls!